All right, guys, thank you for joining me on my video today. I really do appreciate it. I never take your viewership for granted. So it's a pleasure for me to be able to go back and forth with you guys in the comments and some of the messages you send me on Instagram. Continue to do that, and I will be ever so grateful. Today, I'm going to talk to you about delaying negative emotions. This is extremely important because there's always fallout when we are not prudent in our words and in our actions and as a direct result of these negative emotions. But before I get into that, let me just express to you that if you have not subscribed, I would encourage you to do so. There's a lot of positive content on here that you could probably find constructive. If not you directly, you might know somebody that could benefit from it likewise, and I would ask you to share it with them liberally. So if you are interested and supporting this channel and helping contribute to it in the ongoing endeavor I have here, please feel free to check out the link below in the description, and you can click on the PayPal link down there, and I will make sure that you get honorable mention in one of my following videos. So let's move on from there. Delaying negative emotions. What do you do when you find these feelings creeping up that come from a very dark place within you? It might have been spurred on by something somebody said, something somebody did. Maybe you feel left out. Maybe you were included in something you didn't want to be. Um, Maybe you feel hurt by somebody, not just physically, but emotionally. Verbally, you were attacked. And so, what do you do with that? What do you do with that? One of the things you could do is you could act on it in any number of ways. But you have to be careful if you decide to. It's not always good to hold it all in. You know, you need to have some kind of an outlet, but to act on it right away is probably one of the worst things that you could do. And here's our example of this today. I don't know if you know who James. Let's see. Let me make sure he's got like 4 names to his name. James Abbott McNeill Whistler. He was an artist back in the 19th century. Very well known for his portrait called Whistler's Mother. And I think it's displayed in the Louvre at this moment. Could be wrong. I don't have like today's information about it, and so I think it's displayed there. But it's the portrait you see of the woman in the black dress, and I think she might be wearing a white bonnet or something. And all you see is a profile of her as she's sitting in a rocking chair, I believe, by a window. Anyway, so this is what he's the most well known for. James Abbott McNeill Whistler. That's the work he's most known for. But actually, he's most known for other things, which is his inability to actually make friends or to keep friends because he could not control his mouth. And he ran up against somebody else who's actually paid to professionally give his opinion. And this did not bode well with him, and Whistler was very hurt by it. Here's how the story goes. John Ruskin was a critic during the same period, during the 1800s, during the whole, you can look about mid 1800s and going on. This is about the time frame we're looking at here. And John Ruskin was a very intellectual man. He wore many different hats, but he was known for being an art critic, and he had something to say about Whistler's work. Now, what do you expect from critics? Criticism. Criticism can be both good and bad. It can be constructive or it can be destructive. Depends on how it's delivered. But you know, it's something that some people just can't handle well. And this video is not really about handling criticism. I do have a video regarding that, but that Whistler did not handle this well. What Ruskin said about Whistler's work was that he said he accused his work of looking like someone threw a pot of paint in the public's face. And that's such a horrible thing to say to an artist. But yet, indeed, he was just giving his actual opinion. This is what people expected from Ruskin, and but he just that that was just Ruskin's opinion, and we know how movie critics are, theater critics, and while they have their own opinion, and while it might be professionally driven, it's not always what we would consider right. Okay, but Whistler didn't think that way. Whistler decided to sue Ruskin. And so they went to court, and Whistler won. But what did he win? He was awarded £1,000, but all he ever received was a farthing, which is 1,000th. It's my understanding that a farthing is 1,000th of £1. That's not a success. That's not a success. You know what eventually happened? You know what the fallout of all that was? Whistler went bankrupt. He had built his career on his work. He seemed to be very successful, and he bankrupted himself because he acted on his negative feelings. You know what it did to Ruskin after the trial, after everything's over with, even though, after, to make the story short, Ruskin ended up retiring from his professorship at Oxford University. It pretty much destroyed his career, or at least bruised it in a very big way. So you see, two birds were killed with one stone here. The problem is, it was the birds who were throwing the stone. Okay? So you have to consider the consequences of your actions. So let me say three things here. Three things here to consider when you are feeling negative emotions because of anything somebody said or did, or anything that's taking place in your life, because it can happen for a number of reasons. First of all, consider the merit of whatever it is that is making you angry. Okay? Whatever it is that is hurting you, consider the merit of it. Is it trying to tell you something? Could you learn from it? Could it actually help you gain an advantage if you took it seriously? Because not everything that makes you feel bad is bad. Some things are meant to teach you something. And some things that appear downright evil can still teach us something. Sometimes good things come out of things that are totally dark. But you have the responsibility of digging deep through the dirt and finding out where the diamond lays. And so if you can do that and delay your negative emotions and delay your anger, then you will have something on your hands to walk away with. That's not going to destroy you and anybody else in the process. So consider the merit. I would say consider the shelf life. Consider the shelf life of this thing that is obstructing your path to happiness. Consider the shelf life. Everything has a shelf life. Not anything lasts. Nothing does. Nothing does. Some things have to be doctored. Some things have to be unnaturally altered to remain in perpetuity. But even then, nothing does. Especially these things. People feel one way and they'll act in another, and they'll say and do things to be hurtful to others, and then you are the recipient of all this negativity and you feel horrible. But remember, it doesn't last. It doesn't last. So consider the shelf life. Number 3, consider the consequences. Play the consequences in your head on a film reel, if you would. Consider all the things that could happen. I mean, all of them, good and bad. Anything that could possibly happen as a result of not delaying your emotions. Consider that. Consider that. And you might think twice. You might think twice about acting on your hurt. So this is very important to do. You need to make sure that you are on top of this, because Whistler never really learned he never really learned from any of this. In 1890 he ended up writing a book called let me see if I can get this right. I didn't write this down. I think it's called The Graceful Art of Making Enemies. See, he had a habit all of his life of doing this. He was angry at Ruskin for hurting him, but he was in the habit of hurting other people. He had a friend named Oscar Wilde. I know you're familiar with that name, right? When Whistler found out that his friend Oscar Wilde was a homosexual, he openly mocked him. Is that the way you make friends? Is that the way you keep friends? But this is what he did with everybody. He gave everybody a hard time. But this is the nature. This is the nature of the man. And that might be something else to consider when you're dealing with people who are hurting you, that this might just be their nature. And all the revenge and all the actions you could take in the world aren't going to change a thing. You have to have a sense of self-preservation. All right? So consider that. I hope that this has meant something to you. If it has, I hope and pray that you would hit the like button. And like I said before, if you know somebody who should hear this, share it with them. All right, consider donating. And also, if you have a beard, this is where I want you to stick around for a little bit because I'm going to share with you exactly what I put in my beard today. I did wash my beard this morning. I washed it about twice a week. I condition it just about every day, at least 6 days a week. But I use the Beard Struggle Valkyrie Oud beard wash and conditioner. And it's good for me to do that a couple times a week because then it helps me get some of the product out of my beard that I've been building up in there. And then I applied their Valkyrie Oud beard oil. And this is some of the nicest stuff. They really do make quality beard oils, balms, washes, and conditioners. And then I applied their Valkyrie Oud beard balm. This is one of my favorite scents of all the products I've got. It really is. I truly believe in this product. I'm not blowing smoke. And then one of my favorite wooden beard combs. I love wooden beard combs. Is their I don't know if you call this collapsible, but it folds open. And I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's an insignia. It's pretty cool. And then it opens up like this. I love this comb. It's one of my favorite ones. And I think every beard product company should have a comb that opens up like this. It's pretty cool. So anyway, if you use code GregBoz15, you can get 15% off of anything on their website at the Beard Struggle. And I will put a link in the description below so that you can go check that out for yourself. Click onto that, see what they have, and save some money. All right, guys, I've enjoyed this. I hope that it's meant something to you. I hope it resonates. And I will catch you on the next one. Stay safe out there and delay your emotions. Have a great day. Bye-bye.